Did you hear Representative Giddings correctly today, and she's saying that the entire Democratic caucus signed this complaint?
Representative Crane, yes, I did.
Okay. I'm going to shift gears here on you a little bit. Mr. Chairman and Representative, do you believe that we should limit or restrict what a legislator can post on social media?
I believe that we should have actually no limit or restriction of those who post. However, if what is posted is detrimental to the institution or jeopardizes the institution, such as in this case, then yes, I think it's necessary that we take the necessary steps to reprimand them.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Representative. How do you square that with the First Amendment rights that we have, which I'll read for you? Congress shall make no law respecting or an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right to people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. So how do you square that, that we would be abridging their freedom of speech or their freedom of press?
Well, back to the initial conversation, which is about an identity of an individual who had been a victim of sexual assault and releasing her identity and her name to the general public. That's where the issue lies. Now, certainly encourage and to respect the First Amendment right. It isn't our place to make a determination of how you speak or how you communicate this process to the public, or, you know, the dealings and the bills and the specifics of those. However, we all agree when we step forward and we represent this institution, we're adhering to a higher level of standard, a higher level of our ethical obligations to this institution. And at times, I guess you could say maybe it does challenge that First Amendment right. But at the same time, does that victim not have the right to privacy and confidentiality? Our society has already deemed it inappropriate to disseminate an individual's identity, whether it be their picture or their name, in society if they are a victim of a crime, especially a victim of sexual assault. Society has already looked at that. Our media has already looked at and said, we owe it to that individual for privacy. They are a victim of a very egregious behavior, certainly something that they did not want, and we owe it to them for their future, their personal and professional future, to keep their identity private through that process. So in essence, are we dictating or making a determination of that individual's First Amendment right to put that out there? When we sign on to this and when we agree to be legislators in this institution, we also signed on to holding ourselves to higher standard, an ethical standard. And society has already told us this is inappropriate. So therefore, I would hope that my colleagues too would also see this as inappropriate. And I guess that's evident when, and I don't know of any other individual, evident that no other individual, Senate and House, disseminated that article any further than what she did.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman Brooke. And I'm not here to debate back and forth with you whether she should or shouldn't. We all probably have posted stuff on social media that later we have said, you know, I probably shouldn't have, or I have taken that down because of, but I'm getting at the crux of the issue, the First Amendment, abridging the freedom of speech. Abridging means to curtail. Curtail means to impose a restriction. Do we have the right to impose a restriction on a legislator's ability to use their social media account in whatever manner they see fit?
In my opinion, should the behavior hurt someone else at the level in which this hurt this victim? Should this information prevent the future of this victim, both personally and professional? And should the information endanger this victim? Then yes, I think it's appropriate for us to step in. This individual's identity was disseminated much further than the original dissemination from the Redoubt News. And it was facilitated by one of our own. This individual's privacy was impacted, and likely, and I can't attest to this, I'm making an assumption, she's probably been threatened. Her future, she probably worries about her future. So yes, if the behavior in which we conduct has the potential to harm someone else, and threaten them, then in my opinion, I think it's appropriate.
Okay.
Any other questions, committee? All right, thank you. Representative Green, if you would please remain there for a little.